Today is September 17th, Wednesday, 2014. I was going to follow up earlier, but I just haven't had the time. First of all, I apologize for the face. There's no makeup. I've had really bad allergies the last couple of days, and anything that I put on my face has just been running off anyway from my nose or my eyes leaking, so sorry. So we went in for our 10-day ultrasound on last Friday, September 12th. It was a bit of an emotional visit. We ended up going in, and we had a new girl do our ultrasound this time. Usually it's the same person, and you grow to like that person, especially because they're all in your business and whatnot. But so this is a new girl. She's sticks the ultrasound, the wand up there or whatnot. She's on the right hand side, and there is a big dark circle, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, is that one? I'm like, it's huge. She's like, oh, to be honest with you, I don't think so. I think it's a cyst. So right away your emotions kind of like go away, and you're just sad, and you're just anyway, so kind of hits you. That's never happened to us before. Every single time that I've never had any issues ever with any stuff. I've never had a bad response to any of the medication. And this is our fourth round altogether, our fourth IUI cycle. And so it was kind of, I don't know, it was just kind of like, it felt like a waste and whatnot. It was sad. But so then she ends up going to the other side, and she's clicking away, and I see two other dark circles, and I was like, oh, maybe like, even though that's there, maybe we'll have luck with that, the other side, and I'm still going to be ovulating and blah, 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 blah. She's just clicking away and not saying anything at all. So I just feel it just wasn't that best of a visit. And then she slowly like pulls the covers back over my knees and is like, well, let's go ahead and just have you get dressed and come on out as soon as you can, and we'll just discuss like what's next. So I get dressed. Me and Ryan are really bummed out. We're just kind of like, okay, this is great, whatever. So we went up to the nurse's station, and the girl that did the ultrasound wasn't there, and then so the nurse or whoever else was like, just go ahead and take a seat in the waiting room, and then she'll call you back and go over everything with you. So she ended up calling it, or we were sitting there for a little bit, and me and Ryan were just like, well, I guess this does suck, but I didn't start. You get like your vial, your pen injection to take, and I had just finished my first one because I believe it gives you 5 or 4, and I don't know. I can't remember, sorry, it was my first time doing the injection round. So I went and bought a new vial for it, which is about $300. So we were kind of like, well, at least we've got that for the next round, so we don't have to spend that additional money because that's a lot, and we've got all of that, and then we'll just whatever. So we end up getting called back, even though we're bummed out, and the girl tells us that it is not a cyst, it is just a very mature follicle, and we should be good to go. And then the girl that always does my ultrasound came up, and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. She was like, the medication just took really well. She's like, it's not a cyst, but we need you to leave as soon as possible and get your trigger shot and be in here tomorrow morning, like as soon as possible. So that went from like, oh wow, that looked really good, to oh no, that's not good, to oh wow, okay, we're doing this, great. So that was on Friday the 12th, and on Saturday the 13th we ended up going in for our fourth IUI. Ryan went earlier around 8 to deposit, and then I went in about 10 to have the IUI. Every single time that you do this, you go in with as much positive thoughts as possible. Ryan started his 6th week this week on his medication, so on Saturday, that would have been the end of week 5 of him being on it, and unfortunately, he was only at 800,000 sperm, which was even lower than last time. It's not been the lowest he's been, but it was still not very high at all. I know before I left for the day, he was kind of like, don't text me and tell me that, because he had to work for the rest of the day. Don't text me and tell me that it was really, really bad. I just whatnot. So, and she informed me, she was like, we've had this work as low as 500 before. So, it takes one. Don't think that this is going to totally ruin your chances. So we'll see. I ended up texting him afterwards, and he was like, oh, how did it go? I was like, oh, it was good. This one was actually really painful, though. I've never had a problem with it before. I almost felt like it really hurt when she put the catheter in, and it hasn't been like that since I did the dye test. So I don't know if something was just, I don't know. I mean, you're poked and prodded down there, and you have all the sex, so I'm sure that it was probably just irritated and whatnot. So I don't know. I ended up texting him and telling him, oh, it was really uncomfortable this time, but whatever needs to be done needs to be done. And oh, well, your stuff was good. It was a bit higher than last time, and I wasn't going to say anything to him, but he kept asking, and I feel so bad. I guess it is lying, but on the same hand, when he finds out that it's not up to par, it puts him in a bad mood. He doesn't feel good about himself, and after you have your IUI, they recommend that you have sex on that day, that night, and then again the next day. So it's I know in the past when that's happened, he's just totally not into it, and that's just something that I didn't want to put on his shoulders that day. So I haven't told him yet, but I will eventually. Because the numbers were so low, we ended up rescheduling his semen test for this upcoming Friday, because he was supposed to go last Friday, but we had to do the IUI on Saturday, so obviously he couldn't do that then. So he's going this Friday, and then what's going to end up happening is we have an appointment on the 26th for a consult with the doctor, and then I'm also doing my blood work, and then we'll get the results. So a week on Friday, we'll find out if this took. It's really hard because a lot of people are, oh, maybe, do you feel different, and all this stuff, and it's I still don't feel different, and I would really like to be positive about this, but I just don't his results, my results I don't even know. I think having one egg to work with this time, I guess I just don't really know. I'd like to be positive about it, but I don't have, I'm not. I don't know if it's gonna, I don't have as much positivity as I have in the past. But I guess we'll see. And I think it was just because his count was so low, and it's well, if it hasn't worked with double that before, how is it going to work with, what we've got now? But I guess we'll see. We'll find out next Friday, and it'll be interesting to talk to the doctor to see exactly where he thinks that we should go from now, and go from here and whatnot. So we'll see what he has to say. I don't know if they're going to up his dosage. I don't know if they're going to make me take more medication, so then I just have more to play with. Sorry, allergies kicking in again. But I guess we'll see. So I will try and touch in next Friday. If I don't, it's probably because I didn't get any positive results, but we'll see. We also have a concert or a comedy show that night. We're seeing Damon Wayans, so hopefully if we have good news, we're just going to have an even better night, and if we don't have good news, hopefully that'll at least distract us from everything. So we'll see.